Well, welcome, ladies. I just want to tell you that my husband was supposed to be asking me questions since this is an interview format. But suddenly his Zoom isn't working and he's been trying. So I won't be interviewed by my husband for this one, but we'll just have a conversation amongst friends. So in this video, I'm going to share with you about my listing queen protocol, my listing queen strategy, and the zero objection blueprint. So you ready? Okay. So the listing queen philosophy has 5 parts to it. Now, I will tell you that I'm going to be having a masterclass offering for you once this summit is finished. It's going to be a free webinar, and I will let you know about it. But so today, if you're VIP, you are going to be able to hear this over and over as many times as you'd like with lifetime access, and you have the summit workbook. But so if you don't have VIP all access pass, you can go ahead and get it before the summit ends, because after the summit ends, it goes up significantly in price. All right. But otherwise, you want to join me live. I'm going to record it for me, but I'm not going to be sending out a replay of the masterclass that I'm going to be offering to you about the listing queen protocol and the zero objection blueprint, because really this is a business. And so I really hope that you will sign up and attend. All right. So the 5 steps to the listing queen philosophy. Ladies, we are business owners. We are CEOs. And so everything we do has to start with intention. Okay. And I hope you're seeing that, because every one of our speakers starts what they do with intention, right? And so do I, because I'm a CEO, right? All right. So the first one is to acknowledge this is a listing queen philosophy. We're going to acknowledge that homeowners want to sell. Sounds simple, ladies, but homeowners want to sell, especially if we make it sound simple, right? Because we are creating something out of nothing, and everybody has their own perception. So that is why it's up to us to make it easy and make it simple for homeowners who really want to sell. Because I imagine, and I'm going to do either a session or a live on this, because I'm really convicted of this, is that one of the reasons that so many homeowners who would like to sell are staying in the sidelines is because too many agents are buying into the drama. And we are the ones who need to be saying, look, you sell your home now, you will not be homeless because you have creative solutions. And I'm coaching my clients on that right now. All right. So that was the first one. Homeowners want to sell when we make it simple, when we show them the simple path. They're on island A, they own a home, they'd like to sell it. They want to get over here to island B, where they've sold the home and they get the proceeds. We can help with that. Correct? That's the listing queen first step in the philosophy. The second one is that selling makes a profound impact, not only on the homeowners, but on their family and their future generations. It's a big deal. I just posted in my private paid client Facebook group this morning, something in my memories came up, and the memory said, it was one of my past clients who ended up selling and buying 4 times with me through the course of their time with me as their agent. And they were talking about the impact having me as their first agent had on their lives, and in subsequently, right, as they bought and sold. So ladies, listing queen philosophy, you have the opportunity to make a huge impact on others. All right. Thirdly, listing queen philosophy, what I focus on prospers. Okay. How focused are you on becoming a listing queen? How focused are you? Right? When I made the pivot and decision, because that's what has to precede it. When I made the decision to be a listing queen, and that's what I called it back then. So that's why I'm still calling it that. I said, I'm going to focus on listings, right? So you have to focus, because what you focus on prospers. Number 4 in the listing queen philosophy is homeowners want to be led. They want you to tell them how it works and what to expect. So I want you to think about your experience when you are in the listing appointment, when after they say yes, how are you talking to them? Are you laying out the expectations of what it's going to be like for them working with you? And fifthly is a perceived pretty presentation is everything. And what I mean by that is when you're a listing queen, the philosophy is that you are showcasing that person's home. You are the product manager, and that home is your product. And you are not going to, even if they say, oh, let's just list it, I need it sold immediately. Nope, that's not for you. That's not the way you're doing it, because you know that what's in their best interest is to let you style it or stage it or paint a wall or remove some things, right? Because the details make all the difference. So those are the 5 steps or the 5 philosophies of a listing queen, right? All right, so let's talk about the listing queen strategy. And again, there are 5 strategies, all right? So ladies, I want you to just really watch and rewatch this, because that philosophy alone is worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars this year and millions over your career. So let's go forward to the listing queen strategy. All right, first one is, you know your market. Hello, do you know your market? And I don't mean your entire MLS, because each of our MLSs are so darn big. There's no way we could be experts in that. But you decide what constitutes what you're going to call your market. It could be a series of zip codes. It could be a county or two, but it's a smaller area that you choose within the broader market that you want to become an expert in. And I teach you what the important items are that you focus on when you jump in, as a client with me. But knowing your market is number 1 to your listing queen strategy. Number 2 is your marketing is focused on attracting the qualified and motivated sellers. Okay. So when you are messaging out, you need to make sure that you're calling in by what you're saying, the ones who really want to sell, right? They're motivated and they're qualified to sell, which means that, they might have a few dollars to put in, or they're going to listen to you, right? That means they're qualified, okay? Like they're serious. And also part of the listing queen strategy that goes along with this is that everything you do from the minute they say, yes, you're my agent, is to really think about the profile of the buyer, what I call the buyer profile of that house, because every house has a different buyer profile. A condo has a certain buyer profile, a townhouse, a patio home, a single family home with on one level, a single family home, multi-level, right? So you need to know who is the qualified, motivated individuals who would want this home. Does that make sense? Okay. Number 3, include a guarantee that you will sell their home because your process works. I teach my clients, and I believe, and I think I've shared with you also before, that to stand out, you come up with your process for taking a homeowner from being a prospect to post-closing, okay? And you come up with that and that process, and you love the process. You define roles, expectations, what it includes, you define it very well, and then you execute on it. And so your guarantee is that, yes, you will not be homeless. Yes, I will get your home under contract in 2 weeks. Okay. And I teach my clients how to do that. Ladies, if that scares you, that's just because you're letting your head and the fear run more than your passion and your excellence for doing what you do best, which is help people get their houses sold. Because guess what? All the top agents who do have guarantees have very tight restrictions. So if anybody in your market has a guarantee, I'll sell your house or I'll buy it kind of thing, or something like that, they say it must be at my list price and it must present the way that I want it to present, right? So if it's a hoarder house, or what I call the clown house, the hoarder house is you can't even barely walk through it, too much stuff. The clown house is every room is a different color, and it just, it shows deferred maintenance and terrible things. Well, you're not going to guarantee that's going to sell. Okay. Well, everything is about price and presentation. So it you can sell it, but it's going to be a lower price, right? So you define what your guarantee restrictions are, and then you freaking go for it. Okay, that's a listing queen strategy. Number 4, You offer concierge level service to create next level loyalty. Who wants next level loyalty? Me. I want next level loyalty, right? From you, right? Because of what I'm giving you all this value for free, because I'm offering you this concierge service, which is me, handpicking these people who are excellent, who are giving you gold for free. Okay. So think about it now as you, a realtor. Okay. You want to help them. If your recommendation is let's paint the house, let's stretch your carpet, and let's clean up your landscaping outside. Well, guess what? You take that on. You get the vendors there. You have your tribe of professionals. That's concierge service. Don't make them call. You call, right? And you just define everything that has to happen, and then you have someone on your team do it. That strategy will make you a listing queen because it'll make you stand out. It'll make it simple. Do you see how everything is related? Everything is connected with what I'm saying. Your point is you want to over deliver focused on them, right? And that will get you, next level loyalty, lots of referrals, and repeat business. Okay, so that sounds good. The fifth and final listing queen strategy is to create desire and demand by pricing to be the best in the price range. So what I mean by this is speaking specifically not about you getting you in demand, although that is part of the philosophy, but I'm talking about getting your listings in high demand. Okay. And that is by pricing it to be the best in the range. So, I go into this in detail in my coaching, but just to share with you that when you are showcasing your home, okay, there are many times when you should showcase the neighborhood, the lifestyle that is around it. You're creating demand. You create a story about every house, about every listing you have. You create a story. You could talk to the sellers. What did you love about this house? What did you love about living here? Okay. And then you present it beautifully by, in that concierge service, getting some things done, making sure that it presents well before pictures, getting the best photographer. No, please don't ever tell me you're using a cell phone because it was not worth it. No, it's worth it. If you want to be a pro, no matter what it's listed for. But you want to be the best in the price range, meaning that if there's two homes next door to each other and one sold for, $450, okay, and yours is going to show a little better, they say, well, mine shows better. Can I get $460? Well, maybe you can, but let's go in at $449 or $445, because then we're going to call in a larger qualified motivated buyer pool. And now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm going to be able to present to you multiple offers. Are you afraid to say that? You're afraid to say that because you aren't sure. And so that's where I come in as your coach. I teach you how to be sure. And it's not hard. It's really easy and simple when you know how. And that's what I do for you. And I want to make the offer, and I will, to help you with that. Next, we're moving on to the 5 decisions you need to make in order to be a listing queen. Okay, 5 decisions. These are excellent. Get your pen. You ready? All right. What selling experience do I want to create for my sellers? What do I want them to be thinking through the process? What do I want them to be feeling through the process? What do I want them to be doing? Right? So at each of the milestones, pre-listing, once it's active, once we get under contract, once the home inspection's over, 2 weeks out from closing, and then closing day and post-closing. These are the milestones, ladies. Write them down and then say, what do I want my seller clients to be thinking about me at each of those? What do I want them to be thinking about themselves? What do I want them to be feeling at each of these? The deeper you go in this, and I teach you how to do this, that is going to set you up to be a listing queen. Do you see this? Because you take the time. It's a business. We're going to be strategizing. We're going to figure this out. And it's really not hard. Nothing I've said you need a PhD for, right? So that's good news, right? Right. Number 2, what are my best sellers' attributes? Okay. And what I mean by that is Like for me, I didn't want Persnickety Sellers. And, at first you're like, oh, I gotta put up with this guy or gal who is making me overprice my listing. They're not listening to me. They're texting me at all hours of the day and night. Well, that's because you're allowing it. Okay. So when you think ahead and you make these decisions, like it's really standards. I wanted people who respected me, and so do you. I wanted people who saw the value in having an exceptional realtor, and so do you. You want people who are open. They're not going to be perfect. No human being is. I'm not. You're not. Your sellers won't be. But at least they'll be open to hearing what you have to say, okay? Because they're going to depend on you as the expert. So clearly define what your best seller's attributes are. Then you can know what you're looking for, right? All right, number 3. What are your best sellers' concerns, misperceptions, and fears about the market right now? What are they? Why are they not listing? What are they afraid of? Well, they're afraid they won't be able to afford another house. They're afraid they don't want to be homeless. What else? I mean, as I'm filming this in April of 2023, I still see people driving around alone with a mask. So sometimes people are just afraid to have people still in their house, maybe. I don't know. But those might not be your best sellers. But what are your best sellers' misperceptions, and fears? Man, you want to speak to that, because I'm going to share with you, and I'll share it with you now, is these 5 decisions you make become your content. Ding, ding, ding. Yay. How about that? It's that easy. So number 4, what are my best sellers' dreams and goals? Really, when someone sells a house, it has a huge impact on their financial picture. And so, what are their reasons for selling? What are their financial goals in any market, right? It's not just this market, like, maybe a year or two when we're in a different market, we still have to put our thinking caps on, ladies, and think about and act upon what my best sellers' apprehensions are and what are my best sellers' dreams and goals, so that you can create a selling experience that speaks to all of this, right? And that's how you create demand for yourself as a listing queen. And the 5th one is, how do I want to over deliver? Now, the definition of over delivering is you are giving them more than is expected, like the Ritz-Carlton 5-star hotel experience, right? Or Nordstrom's 5-star experience. Who else has a really up-leveled 5-star experience? I can't think. Those are the ones that come to mind, especially Ritz-Carlton. But how do I want to over-deliver in my messaging? How do I want to over-deliver in the listing process before it goes live? How do I want to over-deliver once it goes live, once it goes under contract, and then once we close and forever? Right? How do you want to over deliver? How do you want to make them feel? And then what are you going to do for them? Okay. It could be a note. It could be whatever. All right. So now I don't even know what time I started, but I want to keep this bright, be brief, be gone, because that is what each of these talks is. It's really to allow you to see, what do I want to focus on? What do I want to focus on? And so I've shared with you the Listing Queen protocol, which includes the philosophy and the strategy, as well as the questions that you need to answer for yourself to step into being a listing queen. All right, so now I want to share with you very briefly the Listing Queen Zero Objection Blueprint. These are simply 4 questions that you want to ask yourself. In being a CEO, you want to think ahead and always be proactive. So these are questions that you want to ask yourself so that you can be very confident that you won't have objections that come at you and surprise you. Okay. All right. So the first one is, what do I think? This is you. This is you. This is what you write. What do I think is out of my control? Well, what's out of my control is whether they're going to, put stuff away because they have too much stuff. You might think that's out of your control. Another thing out of your control would be if they're going to do anything like paint or anything like that. Another thing that's out of your control is whether they're going to turn on the lights and leave the house in show-ready condition for showings. Another thing that might be out of your control is whether they're going to make showings easy, like reply quickly to when you have showing requests, right? Okay. So the first part of number one is identifying those things that you think are out of your control. And then the second part of that is, so you write everything that you think is out of your control on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you say, how can I solve for that? How can I solve for that? Right? And so in Richmond and many other markets, we have Curbio, Curbio. And that's a service that will do anything. They'll paint, they'll do your landscaping, they'll paint your front door and your shutters. They'll do anything major or small, doesn't matter. And the seller doesn't pay until closing out of proceeds. So that could be a solving for some of that. Another could be that you go there or someone on your team goes there to turn on lights to make sure that it presents beautifully for showings, right? I mean, there's ladies, this is what a CEO does. You want to be a listing queen, you have to solve for this. Okay. Number two, what is out of my client's control? So the first one was, what is out of my control as a realtor, right? Next one is, what is out of my client's, my seller's control, right? And then you can say that the neighborhood, the this, the that, whatever you think is out of your seller's control, okay, your client's control. And then again, then you say, and how can I solve for that? And you might think, I can't solve for that. But you know what? Challenge yourself, because we are pretty smart cookies. And many times what I found is that if one of the ladies on my team, or now as a coach, if one of my clients brings to me something that they don't think they can solve for, by the time we're done the coaching session, their eyes are lit up and they're like, oh, I didn't know I could solve for that. So I want to help you. But in the meantime, try to solve for that. Number three, what unexpected thing can occur? Lots of unexpected things happen, right? What unexpected thing could occur for my client when their home is sold that is a net positive? You thought I was going to go negative. No. Right? This is the impact, ladies. By my client, my seller's home closing, what is a net positive for my client? Because the more clear you are on that, the more clear you are in your messaging and getting them to choose you as their listing agent and through the entire process. Number four, what objections do I really anticipate? And then how can I solve for that? Do you see the pattern here? This is really easy. Right? And then actually the last thing, it's not really a question, but it is, why should they do it regardless? So there may be objections that you can't overcome. And I can't think of any right now, but there could be. And then you say, but why should they do it anyway? Why should they list anyway? Even if I can't overcome that, right? What is the long-term plus for them, even if I can't overcome that objection? So ladies, what I want to share with you now is, hopefully you know how to get me. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. But if you friend me, as I get rid of people, as I go through people, I will add you on, but I think you can follow me. I'm not sure. I thought I did that, but maybe you can't. So just send me a friend request and I'll see what I can do. And then follow me on Instagram at, I think it's Real Estate Coach for You. Bear with me. It is, Real Estate Coach, the number 4, what is it? 4 women. So it's Real Estate Coach, the number 4 women, Real Estate Coach, number 4 women. And then I will follow you. And then stay tuned inside of these of this Listing Queen Summit, and I will get for you the masterclass where we are going to go deeper into the Listing Queen protocol, the Listing Queen philosophy, the strategy, and those questions that you need to answer for yourself to be a listing queen, where you're really focused and committed, and then the Listing Queen Zero Objection Blueprint. I hope this has been enlightening. I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and let me support you in becoming your market's next or newest listing queen. Talk to you soon.